Hi, I'm Ron.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and we're glad you joined us today.
We are MRI Reactions, where we look below the surface and go deeper into the spiritual side of a Christian song.
Hit the like and subscribe button and become part of our family. And mention this channel to your family and friends. It would help us grow. And hi, family. Glad you're here.
Please leave comments and suggestions and whatever else you'd like to leave. Hey, Michelle, what's our song?
I Apologize by Sidewalk Prophets.
Let's listen in.
I'm sorry, prodigal, if no one ever told you your father's waiting for you at the gate. I'm sorry, wanderer, if I led you to believe that your creator wasn't proud of what he made. I've done all the wrong things for what I thought were right reasons. I've been so unkind to you. I try, but I don't always get it right. I'm chasing Jesus, but I fall sometimes. Oh, and I throw stones in his name and pretend he'd do the same. If I'm the reason why you believe the lies, I apologize.
Wow. Wow.
That's confessing
Boy, that just grabs me
That
right in the heart.
our mouth doesn't line up with our actions. And he's saying, man, if I led you somewhere where you ought not to be, I am so sorry. If I said one thing and lived another, I'm sorry. If I took attention away from Jesus, I'm sorry.
And most of the time, most of us don't consider ourselves and don't try to be callous people. But sometimes we get too busy and too focused and we miss people or we brush past them.
Right. We all have a propensity to opt into the flesh once in a while.
Yeah.
And we have to be willing to apologize. I can remember one time I was playing basketball with a pastor and somebody accidentally elbowed him and he swore. And the people looked at him like, I thought you were a pastor. And he said to them, I took the day off. It's like, no, you're a pastor 24/7, 365. You don't take days off. You should have just said, oh, guys, I am so sorry. I messed up there. I apologize to you. I'm sorry.
And you're a Christian 24/7.
Right.
You know, what you do, even when you're rushing or you're hurrying or you're not paying attention, people see that and it can make a bad difference.
Right. And we're better off just fessing up and saying, hey, I blew it. Not only to people, but to God.
Right.
And we a lot of times try to hide it or laugh it off or whatever. And those aren't the right responses.
No, and we don't know what's going on. We've had plenty of times when you're like in a store and the clerk is kind of rude. Well, your first reaction is, what? She's rude. And you think, no, because a lot of times they're under lots of pressure or stuff's going on at home or something else is happening and they're not intentionally being rude. They're just having a tough day.
Right.
And sometimes we have to think past the surface of people.
Right. And we have to be careful on our reactions so they aren't fleshly. You know, if you have a rude clerk at the store, you just say, hey, I pray that your day gets better.
Right.
Something nice and kind.
Or sometimes if they're looking very flustered and upset, sometimes you might want to say, hey, you look like you're having a hard day. You know, And they can't have a huge conversation with you, but at least they know somebody looked at them like a human being and saw that they were in pain.
Right. Sometimes if you just say, hey, I'll be praying for you today.
Yeah.
Pray that things improve in your life.
Yeah.
Goes a long ways. The apology. Wow. Important.
I'm sorry, questioner. If the answers that I gave you made you feel like tragedy was in his plans, I'm sorry, child of God. If I made you feel so small that you fell right through the holes in his hands, 'cause I've done all the wrong things for what I thought were right reasons. But that is no excuse. I try, but I don't always get it right. I'm chasing Jesus, but I fall sometimes. Oh, and I throw stones in his name and pretend he'd do the same. If I'm the reason why you believe the lies, I apologize.
What are the lies?
That he doesn't love someone, that they're not worth it,
Yeah.
that he'd turn them away, that they have no hope.
False representations of Jesus. We're all guilty of that because we don't represent him perfectly.
Wow, this is hitting me hard.
Yeah.
For the words I said that Jesus wouldn't say, for the chance to love I just threw away. You are love the way you are. I'm sorry I left out that part. Turns out I'm the one who needed grace. I tried.
Isn't that the truth?
Yep.
Oh, we're the ones that need the grace, the forgiveness, the cleansing, yeah. And to realize that this is all a path we're on. We're all in different places.
Right.
God is at work within us to will and to do his good pleasure. But the ultimate is every day we place ourselves in his hands, say, Lord, I surrender.
Well, sometimes we need to not lean so hard on the fact that we're forgiven and take a real good look at what we do. And maybe some of those things, yeah, we might be forgiven, but maybe we need to look at them harder and say, oh my gosh.
Right.
Lord, help me.
Well, last week, the sermon was sort of about a car inspection. Why do we inspect cars? To make sure everything's going right and nothing's dangerous. And sometimes we have to do our spiritual inspection where we check beneath the hood and make sure that we haven't lost our first love and that our hearts aren't hardened and that we're responding to people in kindness.
And I like that this song is showing both sides, how we treat people outside of the church and also how we treat people inside the church.
Right.
Sometimes it's easier to put on a love face for someone outside the church and be more critical of the people in the church.
Exactly. And that's not a good practice,
No.
Outside or inside.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to remember that phrase, there by the grace of God go I. That there's nothing that people are doing that we haven't done or aren't capable of doing.
Sure.
But I don't always get it right. I'm chasing after Jesus, but I fall so hard sometimes. I throw stones in his name and pretend he'd do the same. If I'm the reason why you believe the lies, I apologize. apologize.
Yeah,
Wow, that is quite a song.
it sure is. If truth were told in all of our lives, we all have reasons to apologize to people, maybe one another, to God. And I guess that something that should start to become easy on our lips is for us to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the thing is that sometimes we can see what we're doing is not good, but facing it with the person and saying I was wrong is hard to do.
Right.
But sometimes you need to do that for the sake of the other person. You might have settled it with God, but you need to let that person know that it was wrong.
Right.
What you did was wrong to them.
Humility is a thing that God really likes, especially when we come to Him. And humility is important when we're dealing with other people. Pride gets us in trouble every time. And we need to come with a humble, contrite heart to God and man. Well, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate and love you guys.
And remember, a praise song keeps the enemy away. And give somebody a hug today.
Yeah, let's fill up with this amazing Jesus who we don't have to apologize for. And let's go out and touch our world. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.